Okay, welcome to a discussion of Aristotle's topics. So let's explore a couple of them. Let's first look at definition. What do you know about a definition argument? Often, we use a term or a concept, and often an archetype, to then apply often to a character, perhaps a setting, or a symbol. So, for instance, we may have abstract terms like justice, and we may have specific parts of justice, of how we define this term. It has something perhaps to do with equal treatment. And once we come up with this definition, we may apply it then to a certain character, or maybe elements in the plot demonstrate the definition of justice. Often, so a term or a concept is the same thing. A lot of times we discuss archetypes. We've talked about the femme fatale, the Adam figure, the hero, maybe the comic hero or the tragic hero. These all have specific parts of a definition that we would then apply to often a character. Now, let's think about Jesuit. What might be some definition arguments that have to do with the topic of Jesuit? Well, we do have one. In fact, it's called The Profile of the Jesuit Grad. And in fact, this has a definition, parts to it, that he's open to growth, that he's physically fit. And so we may say, for instance, that Mr. Gall reflects the profile, portrait of a Jesuit, of an ideal Jesuit grad. So we have a character, basically, and he equals whatever definition that we are running. Now, if you think about In Cold Blood, what was a definition argument we ran? The prompt was the villain, right? So the villain obviously is an archetype, and the villain also has specific qualities that he deceives through language. He possesses an an inverted moral compass. Right? So we're attaching some definition. We're attaching a single definition. We have several parts of this. There are clearly several aspects of a villain. Violence is an ethical strategy, okay, etc. So here's our definition possibility. Now, if you think of Gatsby, can you think of what are some definition arguments that we've run in Gatsby? So far, we have mentioned that Daisy is a femme fatale version of the feminine, which is an ideal archetype. We've also talked about the darker aspect of the American dream. So here's our concept, right? This is a concept. And we talked about Myrtle, that's an E, by the way, illustrates the darker side of the American dream. There might be, for instance, other archetypes in Gatsby, like friendship, other relationship archetypes, right? And of course, these are probably unideal since we're in tragedy, which also indicates the other large, that the novel reflects the traits of the tragedy, the tragic landscape, and that has specific traits to it as well. So these are all various definition arguments that we can be making about Gatsby. Now, what I alluded to already is that our thesis statements basically have the key formula of whatever the definition concept is, whether it's a concept, sort of term, or an archetype. That's one half, and the first half is either a character equals that definition, perhaps a sequence of plot, perhaps a setting, okay, fits the definition of whatever you're defining, some concept. So this is the basic formula. Then what's helpful, one way to do this is that your topic sentence, initial attempt at a topic sentence, is one aspect or quality of the definition. And you build your topic sentence by introducing that particular quality, and you have several examples of that quality. So you organize your topic sentences by the trait of the definition. So that's one possibility. Okay, stay tuned for the next coming up. We're going to talk about comparison arguments in the next session. So, なんですか?